Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with what should be the 7th episode of the Exile series that we're doing. And we have been basically running a doctor's office and killing reckoners. I have some obscurity now. There's a few things that I want to try and do here. I can't remember exactly the number, but I think when Exile first came out, there was something like 10 new achievements that were added to the game. And I don't know that much about Exile, but my recollection at least is that there are a lot of different ways for this to end. I'm actually going to renew the C for a second. Oh, more? Flute, matutine. No one had any use for it, not anymore, so I have made from it something both practical and charming. No? Something I can only use by the sea. Interesting. Clearly I don't have the item that's required for this, but... so anyways, I'm really debating about the Scaptodon tomb, incidentally, so I would need to add my... Wait a minute, where is my edge? I think it's probably in the... Yeah, Learn from Victory. But yeah, so anyways, there's a lot of different ways for Exile to end. Obviously, we've seen one of them. And I do have... I believe I actually have 2 endings. I won't talk about them because some of you, this may be fun to see how Exile can end other than through my destruction. But there are a few different things that I basically have a few options available to me now. We are generating a lot of trace, but we've actually had a fairly straightforward time dealing with the people who are coming after me. More importantly, I'm in a position to convert stolen years into cash. Now, the original idea of using the doctor's office for this was more about, you know, minimizing the number of traces and maximizing my obscurity. But in this case here, we've actually got a pretty decent little system going where a reckoner arrives and we sort of annihilate them when they show up. One of the drawbacks that we've had are there's, I believe, 2 different types of reckoners. I believe there are assassins and there are operatives. Operatives come and attack me sort of through my possessions. Those are actually quite hard for me to deal with. And then there are the Reckoner assassins, which sort of attack me directly, and I could let Georgiou or, the profane weapon or anything like that hold them at bay. So, some of what I'm trying to do here is take advantage of my possessions. Take advantage of my few possessions right now to generate a lot of wealth. I do need to make sure I have a certain amount of cash to make it to Valletta. I'm actually wondering if I can... Yeah, so I need 2 cash to be able to skip town. But what I can do is I can start sending my other earnings ahead of me. And so yeah, in this case here, the longer I delay, the better off I am. It gives me a chance to heal these wounds. It gives me a chance to, again, sort of convert some of the cash into... convert some of the years into cash. And if I'm lucky, it lets me generate more obscurity. Obviously there I can just use, the obscurity to escape. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a number of different paths that I can go down. Choosing to visit the Scaptodon tomb puts you down a certain path, but you don't necessarily have to... How do I put it? Actually, I think if I put possible sacrifice... No, okay. I have to have it already. There are other temptations, but yeah, escape is not a terrible idea. But yeah, in any case, all of this being said, I have a number of options available to me here, and I'm not going to say that this is the best, the best situation for me to be in. It would be nice if I didn't have so many traces on the table. It would be nice if I, did not have reckoners coming after me. But at the moment, I feel like I'm in a position to be able to earn a little bit more cash, and we'll send some of that cash ahead to Valletta. But it's also important to remember, in terms of the items that I have, I've got, I think, 5 separate objects. So that's about a minute that it's going to take me to skip town. So obviously, if the foe shows up, that's a serious problem for me. It's something that I'm going to need to work on. So I may or may not be able to get another run of the doctor's office going, but we'll do our best. Oh yeah, I should have read the description here. I'll investigate a little more closely. Okay, the drum unceasing. I'm addressing a challenge with heart. This will increase subtlety. So I'm going to go straight for the guitar. Delighted its daughters. I'm addressing this challenge with Grail. This will increase subtlety. It's not a huge deal one way or the other. This is really just more about getting the items in the office. Now, one thing that's kind of fun about this, and would be relevant to the Scaptodon tomb, connection with radicals. I don't think I'll do it this time, but it is actually possible to overthrow the government. That is one of the things you can do. There are reasons why you may or may not want to do something like that. It'll be related to traces, but it'll also be related to some other things that you could pursue in this legacy. So it is important, I think, to recognize that not everything that I'm going to be doing here is something that, like, I'm not going to be seeing every single, I'm not going to basically go down every single path in this particular legacy. You know, that obviously gives us opportunities for future legacies, but I probably should be upfront in terms of saying that there's a little bit more to... There's a little bit more than we've seen here, and in this case, I don't see the value in sort of pushing one direction over another. All right, learn from my victory. This wasn't a tidy or pleasant process, but I have developed my understanding of the many kinds of mortal action. So here we have an operation of the Strix. Where warriors fall, the many-winged Striges gather to honor their flesh. Where heroes fall, the many-winged ones gather to convey their souls before the hours. I don't intend to fall, so I've learned how the Striges protect themselves. So, in this case here, one of the big advantages of leveling this up will be the fact that I'm able to participate in fights. It's always such an expensive way to get rid of. I was thinking I might be able to try and relinquish, you know, the dread somehow. Okay, definitely don't need to sell this for cash. I do like the fact... Actually, this one doesn't have comfort, so maybe I could sell it for cash. It's helpful as a bank, though. Don't want to heal the wounds. So if I relinquish cash, what's the deal there? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I'm pretty content with where we're at right now. Right now, excuse me, I just want to take a second to make sure that I've got, I want to make sure that I'm not leaving some obvious options on the table. It is tempting to send the cash to Valletta now. I'm not quite going to do that yet because we may still find things through Reconnoiter. Travel, I think it's pretty clear, so I don't want to be setting a false trail. The Misty Nook is very tempting. If nothing else, it's just interesting to see what happens. So I lean against the wall and wait. This will provide a tranquility. So it says lore, but I don't think that's going to... Oh, offer a secret to the mist. I will light a candle and wait. This will permanently downgrade your lore by 1 level, but it will give you an obscurity as well as a tranquility. Well, that's... interesting. I was going to say, like, as far as generating cash is concerned, it's not a terrible... It's actually not a terrible way to go in terms of, you know, doing the fights. I think I'm going to leave the option available to me, but I should keep the Misty Nook. I also just love the image for it. I think I'm going to keep the Misty Nook as an option for future. should say. I also need to decide whether or not I want to try converting stolen years again, but convert a stolen decade. I think in this case here 10 is fine, so we're gonna let the plans play out and see where the pursuit goes. Maybe we can extend heights. There's that tingling sensation on the back of my neck. Someone is looking for me. Reinforcements. Reckoners have evidence that I'm here. They're summoning help to smoke me out. So this could be the underboss, which will make life quite a bit more difficult for me. A half-glimpse wistfulness has touched me, and walk the city seeking opportunities. So we've got the sea again. Patients come and go at my doctor's practice. Next! Alright, I'm addressing this challenge with Grail. This will increase subtlety. I think I'm just going to add the Beguiling Curio right away. So that's going to bring me up to 10 Grail. Well, that doesn't actually really push me over the edge, does it? I feel like the sea should have heart. Maybe we could add the Restlessness to move the heart. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to add the Beguiling Curio. I will add the Restlessness, though. There. Okay, I think we need to prepare for whatever's on the other end of this thing. Generated a trace. We don't need the profane weapon. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to send... Oh, not a message. Oh, am I not able to send money ahead? Yeah, there we go. Oop. Destination. Is this not a destination? Oh, right, sorry. Valletta. Okay, I didn't need to do... Yeah. I can still reconnoiter Algiers without... There we go. I might need to leave in a hurry. I can prepare by way of sending funds ahead to a possible destination. Of course, if I never go there, the funds would be lost. So I'm just anticipating that I'm going to be getting 2 funds from the doctor's office, and we are wrapping up fairly soon, so I'd like to make the trip as quick as possible. Especially given that it says it's adding reinforcements, so I'm a little worried about the potential. Alright, I've seen a familiar's face in the crowds. Too familiar. The more traces on the board, the more quickly your pursuers will be able to move against you. Now this is an assassin, so this is actually good news for us. Attack my pursuer using edge technique. This will destroy all obscurity, right. Yeah, so I actually don't want to... I don't want to be that rash. No way! Oh, that is a shame. Alright, a Reckoner Assassin is prowling the city. It won't find me yet, but this veil of secrecy is wearing thinner. Okay, well... Steel and Science. I outmatch them, and it's time they knew it. An attack that uses both an edge technique and a weapon will always hit. I mean, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to keep the options running. That's going to be important for me to remember in the future. There are costs for... this approach. I mean, it makes sense, right? You don't want to be... you know, coming out guns blazing. Right, the drum and ceasing. I'm addressing this challenge with heart. This will increase subtlety. We've got 14 hearts, so there's nothing we need to add there. A palpable hit. I've struck and faded back into the city. 2 wounds will kill most reckoners. 4 wounds will kill an underboss. It is done. If I need to run, I might have a softer landing. So let's send the cash out again. Assassin's moving against me. Now I could send Georgiou to get some experience here. That probably won't help with the... Well, see, if I do a direct attack... I can't remember how long it takes to do a direct attack. 30 seconds. Okay, we can handle that. I'm just a little worried about the obscurity that I'll be getting from the doctor's office. So the plan's going to be we take the cash from the doctor's office. We've already got 2 that we've sent to... Oh, should still be recognizing Algiers. Ill met. This one is better or luckier than I'd expected. I've done them no harm, so I didn't exactly save myself any effort with the operation. It would have been nice to try and improve the... Patients come and go. My doctor practice. Pursuers stymied. My friend has lent me their protection. Now that should give them extra experience, I think. I'm delighted to see you looking so much better. My works are written in water. You've achieved 3 subtlety. Okay, a friend in need. My associate defended me, which was decent of them, but now the Reckoner mob has more clues to follow. Okay, we will need to sell the house still, so that's another important thing for me to remember. Alright, my works... oh right, we've got... Works are written in water, so there's the cash, there's the obscurity. We're almost certainly going to lose that to the assassin now. So there's a few things that I want to get done. First thing we're going to do is sell the discreet office. Perhaps I need the cash more than I need this. This will exchange the asset for cash equal to its worth. And I'm thinking that probably we stop mailing the money. We probably should just get out of town. Because we've already used both of the weapons too, so that's a good place to be. My train leaves at dawn. Have I forgotten anything? So the idea here is that the 24 seconds it takes, we've got a lot of stuff to pack, so that's going to give me some time. I may need this. Yeah, so sadly we lost the obscurity. I guess I'll see what's up in Algiers. Okay, got the cash now. Assassin is moving against me. Direct Reckoner attacks, cause wounds. We'll still try here. This is kind of a last resort, but... Actually, I am curious. Yeah, I can't just employ the Dread for it. I have to... Okay. Interesting, but not super important. Okay, we better bring Betty's blade or I'm gonna be mad. Alright, that should be the end of the... Actually, it just occurred to me we can probably use... Yeah. Okay, so we've walked away with everything we need. We didn't pursue the scout to Don Tomb, but that's fine. And farewell. Use my skills to hold my pursuer at bay. Now that probably didn't result in a wound. So all that I've probably done here is put my... Oh, there we go. En route through the darkness into a new day. I've gone far enough that reckoners will have to look harder than usual, unless they're already here. So here we've got a connection with a ruler. That's probably going to take a decade if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says it right there. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure how I want to play this, to be honest. Kamal is waiting for me on the quayside. I'll do what I can, he assures me. I have the governor's ear. You know the British. Very reliable, though not so bright. Okay, well we've got an obscurity off of this, which is nice. So yeah, I wish I had a little bit of a better idea in terms of what this would get me. It seems to me like probably what I want to be doing. Let's start by... Oh, I should retrieve the cache I sent ahead. Wow, I did not know I needed to do that, so yes. I said cache the head, I can retrieve it once I arrive. And the other thing that I want to do is... yeah, send discreet messages. If I run, I should run somewhere I have an old friend, or at least an old acquaintance. So this is obviously not giving me a chance to, you know, to do any work, but it is a chance for me to... I mean, I am at least getting the wound dealt with. I'm getting a recharge on my different weapons and such. So. Wheel turns, sun crosses the sky, night pursues it. We can even let the stress from the original, our hasty pursuit from Algiers wear off. I feel like I had another item. I can't remember how I lost it. Anyways, doesn't matter. Before all this went bad, I was negotiating a sale of life with one of President Zogu's people in Tirana. I still have her address. Okay, so now we're going to start. We've got our destination. In fact, I could actually probably start sending some money to begin with. I don't think I want to do that though, because there may be some items that I can pick up. So we'll reconnoiter Valletta. We'll hopefully not generate too much. We hopefully won't generate traces and instead just get something that I can set up a doctor's practice with. But you never know, right? Generally, the activities that I've been doing have resulted in traces pretty quickly. There's also an indication that there was a colonel shrine in this place. Now, we didn't go to the Lionsmith. Maybe it's because we were just waiting for the colonel. A grand townhouse. So if I can find a way of making somebody... I mean, this might be a good opportunity for me to sell the Adept's powder, now that I think of it. Townhouse provides significant space as a good place to take refuge or entertain guests. It'll provide both heart and grail. Yes, okay. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell the powder for cash. Now this means we're going to lay low here for a while. Doesn't necessarily mean that's where how we're going to end things, but I've got enough cash to be able to set up a practice and just generally not make waves. So this is going to be my opportunity to sort of launder the years. This is a very rare opportunity for me. The other challenge is that if I have a lot of cash and I haven't put it into things, it is going to take a long time to move with all of it. But I'll worry about that later, unless cash generates comfort, which I don't think it does. Okay. Oop. Perhaps I need the cash more than... Alright, purchase something useful. So this will give me a chance to heal my wounds. This will give me some obscurity to work with. And I will turn the years into cash. So a good place to rest up or to invite contacts I want to impress. I have taken on a couple of discreet staff and installed extra locks on the doors. That won't slow my pursuers much. So that grants 4 heart. I believe that's enough for us to do everything. I might have actually misjudged. We'll see, though. Run a sanatorium. Once I've treated a couple of wealthy widows, the word will spread quickly. A reasonably safe way to convert stolen lifespan into cash. Heart aspect cards are often useful when running a sanatorium. Sanatorium is open. Okay. So as usual, we'll add the Gresque guitar. Now, the one drawback here is I don't have all happy far off things, which was something I was relying on for the little bit of extra heart, but we're up to 12 now. Light and its daughters. I'm addressing this challenge with Grail. It will increase subtlety, so we're going to keep adding what we can. And again, the temptation, if I need the extra points, it will be to reconnoiter the city. But if I don't need it, then I think the goal is going to be to generate as much cash as I can, send that ahead, or at least some of it ahead, and then once we're in a good spot, I might keep a couple of decades just as an emergency. But in this case here, this is a good opportunity for us to get ourselves in a nice spot. It's also worth remembering that it is possible to generate a trace just through, the passage of time. Operation continues. Patients, come and go at my sanatorium. My staff will see you to your room. Okay, so we're good. We don't really have anything that we can throw into this. This will make it seem very dry. So this might be one of the cases where I fast forward. Excuse me. I don't like the idea. Like, generally I don't like fast forwarding through Cultist Simulator because there's usually material for me to work with. But in this case, I actually specifically want this to be a nice, sleepy spot for me. An operation continues. Patients come and go at my sanatorium. My staff will see you to your room. Okay, so this is a big one for me. We've got the 12 health. We don't need the forge, so I'm addressing this challenge with heart. This will increase subtlety. So we're good. This means that I'm going to be able to... This means I'm basically going to be able to generate obscurity. It also means that I'm going to be able to generate quite a bit of cash. And the way that I'm planning on running this is that we're going to make the most of the sanatorium while we can. I know I have 4 cash in my pocket when we need to leave town. So the drawback about this is that the reason I would leave town would be that there's sort of a random trace that's generated. And that is a real possibility. That's happened to us already in this playthrough, in fact. But I don't really want to make weight. Like right now, this is a nice chance for me to sort of get a head start on my pursuers. So in this case here, while it doesn't necessarily make for the most exciting, the most exciting streaming experience, right? I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably not going to keep this on. See you next year. I'm not going to keep this. I'm not going to sort of keep this on the normal speed for the full duration, I don't think. But it is good to special outcomes. My works are written in water. You've achieved 3 subtlety, you've not only avoided the risk of traces, but you've gained an obscurity. And that generated 4 cash for us. So that's really interesting. So what this means is that the higher the quality of the house, the more valuable your treatment is. Yeah, so this is huge for us. I don't know how much cash I actually want to be keeping in the city at this point. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll start mailing some of this off. Send cash ahead. I might need to leave in a hurry. I can prepare the way by sending funds ahead to a possible destination. Of course, if I never go there, the funds will be lost. So we're going to ignore the... I think we've actually already ignored the relationship with the ruler. I'm going to slowly send stuff off to a future location. I'm definitely going to take advantage of my medical credentials in the Grand Townhouse. Because being able... Like, so in theory right now, so I had 59... what was it? So, like, sorry, originally it was 60. And we did convert that into cash. So with what I have right now, we could, in theory, turn that into 240 cash. Now, that doesn't really matter. I believe comfort matters at the end, depending on the ending that you go for. But again, this is, like, cash gives us options. There's a reason we stole this stuff. So, I think in this case here... Oh, a doctor's practice. So why isn't this a sanitarium anymore? Treatments may not be quite what they seem, but the results are always excellent. Well, that's fine. We'll run ahead with this and see where it goes. Yeah, so this counts as a doctor's practice this time. I wonder what changed. So it does also make me wonder what the... it does make me wonder whether or not I'm going to be getting the 4 out of that. But all of that is something that we will address in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for what I believe is Friday's episode. Take care.